Okay, everybody, welcome back to Intro to Formal Logic. What I want to do in this video is move on from talking about conditionals to talking about conjunctions. So, conjunctions. Conjunctions are and statements. However, more than just the word and means and. So this is another connective, just like if then connects two simple statements and puts them together into a compound statement. The word and its sundry synonyms also connects to, or could connect more if we employ a bunch of ands, like we saw when we were putting the parentheses up. Two or more statements into a compound, or two or more simple statements into a compound statement. What are some other words that mean and? Yet and but are probably the most common. But also words like, I mentioned before, although, give me an and, as well as also. Moreover, nonetheless, nevertheless. Another one would be additionally. All these words can mean and as a conjoining connective. Now, you'll notice in there that the word or is not in there. You may have heard before that what are some conjunctions are and, but, and or. We're going to distinguish or as disjoining phrases, where it still connects them together, but it disjoins them, and it can do so in one of two ways. But we'll get to that when I do a video on disjunctions. But here with conjunctions, all these words, I'll say this 95% of the time, mean and. Depending on the context, they can actually mean other things. On your quizzes, you're not going to run into that problem. At least not your quizzes for this class. You're not going to run into that problem. All of these things can mean and they will mean and on your quizzes. Now, how are we going to formally represent and? Your textbook is going to do it with an ampersand, which I'm not going to attempt to draw. I am going to do it on the board with a big old dot like this. I'm also going to do that on your quizzes as well, and any other notes or anything else that goes up on Blackboard. Some other people will use kind of a little, almost looks like a mountain out of a J.R.R. Tolkien map. Okay, like an upside down V. That can mean and as well. But I'm going to be using the dot. So if I want to say something like A and B, and let's say A stands for something simple like it's raining today, and B stands for something simple like it's going to be sunny tomorrow, then what this would mean it's raining today and it's going to be sunny tomorrow. The and just conjoins those two things together. This doesn't seem to be particularly radical, what's going on here. There are going to be some connectives later on that are kind of peculiar, namely the biconditional. But this now brings us to two rules that we can do with conjunctions. In a certain sense, these are easier, I think, than modus ponens, and even more obviously the case. So we've got two. We've got what I'm going to call in here and out and in. So technically, and in would be adjunction, and out would be conjunction elimination or annihilation, depending on what you read. Conjunction elimination and adjunction, and out and in. These are two preposterously simple rules. And in says this: you got some statement like it's raining today. Let's take that and we'll say that's our assumption. We've got another statement: it's going to be sunny tomorrow. We've got that as an assumption. These are your two assumptions. What can you do? You can adjoin them. What does that mean? You can put any two statements together with an and in any order. So I can conclude, hey, I've got A and B. How did I get that? This thing. And in. Where did those pieces come from? Lines 1 and 2. Adjunction. Done. Now, if this is true, it's also the case, if I've got A and B separately, I can put them together really in any order that I want. If it's the case that I've got these things individually, it's raining today and it's going to be sunny tomorrow, then I could say, well, also, it's going to be sunny tomorrow and it's raining today. Yep. How'd I get that? Also and in, same places, 1 and 2. So adjunction is where you can take any two statements and combine them together with an and in any order, period. And what you do to say that, I did and in, and where did you get those pieces from? And out, or conjunction elimination, is where you start with the conjunction. Let's say I've got A and B, and this is my only assumption. What can I do to it? Well, here's the deal. Pretty much anytime you see this dot representing and the statement is not in parentheses, you can break that thing apart. Smash it to bits, destroy it. So if you got A and B, and it's not in parentheses, you can simply break it apart. You see this? Smash it. So what can we get? A and B separately. How did I get that? Now, each of these I got and out. Where did the pieces come from? Where did I get this? I broke this apart. Where did I get this? I also broke this apart. So the way and out works is you say, what was the source of where you got these pieces from? Okay? And in, or adjunction, is where you can put two things together. Basically, and out is where anytime you see a dot or an and, a conjunction, you can basically think of this as very fragile. You can break it apart, just like that. You just simply need to say that you did it and where you got that from. That is really all I have to say about conjunctions, adjunction, and conjunction elimination. What I'm going to do next is say how, or show how this combines with arrow out, and we can use all these different kinds of things together.